Hello and welcome to Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Clint Owlet of the 68th District, serving in Tioga, Bradford, and Potter counties. If you live in a Pennsylvania city or a suburb, you don't think twice about using your phone or computer to access important information. But for many folks in our area, broadband and high-speed internet is wishful thinking. Recently, efforts have been made to expand broadband service to rural areas so that businesses can operate more efficiently, students can take advantage of the latest technology, and emergency services can serve the community faster. Joining me today to discuss their part in the broadband expansion is Craig Eccher, CEO of Tri-County Rural Electric Cooperative. Thanks for joining us, Craig.
You're welcome, Clint. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you.
There is quite a project going on in the 68th District with rural broadband. What can you tell me about?
Well, it's a very rural part of Pennsylvania. You know, we call it the wilds, part of the wilds. And, you know, if you're used to having broadband in the towns or in the suburbs or the cities, like you said, Clint, if you go down through some of the areas of our districts, you're not going to find it.
Right.
And that also is cell phone coverage.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in order to have a cell phone, you need good broadband.
Right, and you have little pockets maybe of good cell phone service, but then there's huge gaps in the system.
That's it, Clint. And, you know, we have an electric system. We have about 3,200 miles of power lines.
Yep.
We cover actually 7 counties. And as we roll out our smart grid, we don't have communications for our own equipment. That's one of the reasons why we took this on. The other reason why we were getting a lot of comments from our membership.
Yeah.
That they looked at us as a potential provider because what we brought to them in the 30s, electricity, they thought maybe we may be a conduit for internet.
Yeah.
And communication, and we listen to our membership.
Yep. Well, that's great. So this is very exciting for the constituents in the 68th District to have a great company like Tri-County moving and expanding, diversifying into the internet world is very exciting. So what are the economic impacts that you would see from this grid and infrastructure that you plan to build?
Well, that's the exciting part, Clint. We're looking at economic infrastructure. We're looking at medical infrastructure. We're looking at the educational benefits of this. But let's go back to the economics. I think we're going to put one more tool in the tool belt for these economic development groups that are out there that we have developed. We're starting to collaborate with those agencies and try to get them involved and say, here's a tool that a business could use.
Yeah.
Just something that happened the other day on our Facebook, on our social media. We had a woman respond, I can move my business back to where I grew up because she needs broadband to operate her business. I think it's going to be a great tool for small business, for medium-sized business, because in today's world, if you don't have connectivity, you're not going to be able to conduct your business.
Right. So building an infrastructure like this isn't cheap. I mean, we're talking lots and lots of money. I know you've received some grants. What can you tell us about the grants that you've received and secured and how this whole process, how long have you been working on this?
We started this about 2 years ago.
Wow.
It's a long process. As you can imagine, it's a very capital intensive project. You know, I get it why many entities don't pursue these rural markets. We have a density of almost 6 customers per mile. So it's very sparse.
Yeah.
It's about a $77 million project.
Wow.
When we took a look at running all the financials and we thought we could probably do this maybe a little easier than others, only because of our business model.
Yeah.
We don't need the return that others may need. We have some infrastructure we may be able to utilize, or we will. And we thought, you know, let's take a shot at this. But when we did all the financial pro formas, the financial forecasting, we realized we needed grant money.
Yeah.
So the good news is that the FCC was getting ready. Well, they've been trying to put this auction out for the past, I don't know, 6, 7 years.
Right.
But the timing was good because they just put all the rules together, and they were going to have the auction. So we said, let's prepare for this auction. We did a lot of prep work to get into this auction. We hired an engineering firm to assist us, and we competed in the auction last year. We do have to make commitments when we take the FCC money.
Right.
And so we're working with the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission on meeting some of those requirements. But the good news is we were successful. The auctions were auctioned off by census block groups. So it was a larger territory, larger blocks of territory that were auctioned off. And we bid at providing fiber to the home, which means we can provide up to gigabit speeds.
Wow.
In the middle of areas like, in some areas like outside Morris.
Right.
And Asaph and those places. Some far, places out in the country, we're going to have that kind of service. But we ended up securing a total of $32.5 million out of the FCC auction.
Wow.
We did have some competition in the auction, but we prevailed, and we ended up securing the $32.5 million. It's $3.25 million per year for the next 10 years.
Wow.
So it comes to us as basically operating revenue. That's the way the FCC envisioned this.
Yep.
It's a game changer for us.
Yep.
So we were successful with that.
How about the state of Pennsylvania?
The state of Pennsylvania.
Did we get involved?
Big time. It was phenomenal. First started off with a RACP grant, which gave us a lot of hope to pursue the auction.
Yep.
And big thanks to you and your fellow legislators that assisted us with that. And then we participated in the governor's broadband initiative.
Yep.
But to be successful in his initiative, you needed to be successful in the FCC initiative.
Great.
Which really put a lot of pressure on us
in
the initial FCC auction. And so at the end of the day, we ended up very successful in the Pennsylvania initiative too.
So where are we at all together, finances, grants, put all together in this project?
Right now, we have a total of about $50 million in grant money. It's a $77 million project.
Yep.
We're using our own resources for the rest of it. And right now we're into the engineering of phase 1. We're hoping to put contracts out for contractors probably March timeframe for phase 1. Phase 1 will be 500 miles of construction.
Yep.
So it's going to be exciting times.
Now I know folks are going to wonder the time frame. We're talking about construction. Maybe we could hit that real quick. Well, I mean, I would love it if this was all done tomorrow, but what's the realistic time frame for a project this size?
I'm glad you asked this, Clint, because this is what I get hit up from our customers,
That's
our
right.
members.
The number one question, when are you getting internet to my house?
Phase 1, we will light up fiber before the end of 2019.
Yep.
And so we will be serving customers on part of that first 500 miles. We envision that in Potter County.
Yep.
Then we're going to, that fiscal year, so we start construction in, let's say, June of 2020, we'll have built about 500 miles. That will take us through Tioga County. That will take us a little bit into Bradford County, maybe a little bit into Lycoming County. But along that main trunk, that will all get lit up. And so any customers, members on that main trunk line will be able to take service from us. It is a 6-year program.
Okay.
Now, if we could build it in 5, I would love it.
Yeah.
And we are looking at ways we can accelerate the program, only because the customers want it.
Right.
Your constituents want this.
There's a market for it. I mean, there
exactly.
really is.
And I'm just excited on what it will bring, knowing what it'll bring, and collaboration it will create with healthcare, economics, and education. It's a key element.
And that's something I wanted to touch on again, is just the economics of it. I was talking to a business owner the other day. They have a maple business, and they would love to expand to internet sales, but I mean, it's impossible. They just can't do it. But they could expand their business, and if they had the speed, the internet speed that they need to be able to do that. So, how many of those are there out there? I mean, there's probably tons. I mean, even thinking about our students and doing research projects at home, that's incredibly difficult for students in our district right now. But this is going to be a game changer for our students and our schools, and how they truly are going to keep up with the times and the technology. So I'm excited about it for the economic, the students, and future growth. I mean, when businesses come to districts, that's one of their number one questions. Workforce development. What's our workforce, and then can I connect to the internet? Right. And if there's no internet, there's no business coming to our area.
Well, we're excited about just the school side of it, the education piece of it. We're trying to form a collaboration because we'll have the infrastructure. We're not the folks that can solve these issues.
Right.
So we want to collaborate with educators,
Right.
Your school district superintendents. Another piece of the puzzle is a community college that was created by Senator Scarnati.
Yep.
And I don't think it might hit the western part of your district, Clint, but it allows students, to earn an associate's degree at home.
Yeah.
And then I think they attend a class maybe once a week or once every other week.
Right.
But this will help enable that kind of a program. At the same time, we're trying to pull in like Pitt Bradford, Mansfield University,
Yep.
With some of their educational courses they're trying to pursue and offer.
Right.
And then just schools, and then also students pursuing a GED degree, they could do it at home with
Right.
this kind of infrastructure. So we're excited, and we also think that it'll create maybe some new courses at some of these junior colleges in the communications field.
Right. So jobs. What do we expect this to be as far as jobs? I mean, there's going to be a huge push to build the infrastructure, I'm sure, where there'll be a lot of need for employees. But what's the long-term job impact for the 68th district, but then also looking to the west and to the east, other districts?
Well, let's talk about your district, Clint.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd be great. I love talking about my district.
It's going to have a pretty good impact for jobs. I anticipate at year 5, year 6, we'll create 25 jobs, full-time jobs.
Yep.
And those jobs are well paid, good benefits, people can earn a good living on. So we're going to create those. That's year 5, year 6. Along the way, we'll be creating jobs to hit that goal. Now, if the program expands, it'll be more positions. But you hit on a point, in an interim, the construction phase, how many jobs do?
Right.
You're right. That will be a lot of jobs. We're bringing in right now, probably in January, we'll be bringing in 6, 7, 8 engineering type positions.
Yep.
We'll also be bringing in construction positions. So we're probably looking to build this project on the time frame we're looking. You're probably looking at 30 cablemen, 40 cablemen.
That's great.
And so we'll be pounding the area with those folks. But as we roll on, we will keep adding full-time jobs. Right now, we've added some full-time jobs already.
Yeah.
So we're excited with that.
So you're not the only internet provider in our district. We do have some fantastic cable companies, internet providers. How will this really help them as you guys work together?
Well, I'm hoping we can form some alliances with each other. We both have expensive assets, and we can leverage each other. And it's an interesting question because right now we've been in discussions with 3 of those providers. Yeah. We're an electric co-op. Now, this new entity is an LLC off the co-op, but we're going to operate it with the same philosophy.
Right.
But we're electric. We do have some knowledge in natural gas.
Yep.
We have a division in natural gas, but we realize our shortcomings. And I remember, I don't want to kid about the movie Dirty Harry, but he always said a man needs to know his limitations.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like us.
Right.
So that's why we want to partner with some of these folks.
That's great.
And then even though the ones we don't form a true alliance with some business functions, we also want to share assets.
Right.
And I think if we leverage each other, we can provide a great communication system that will benefit the whole district.
Well, thank you so much, Craig.
You're welcome.
This is such an exciting project for our district. And that's all the time that we have for today's program. I'm State Representative Clint Owlet. If you need any assistance in state government matters, feel free to contact me in my local office. The address and the number will be shown in just a moment. And thanks for watching, and please join me again for our next legislative report.